I was thinking, people say this all the time, so now what? I've been doing what I've been doing for, decades. It's what I have to do. Now when do I get a chance to do what I want to do?
Well, and that's what we do here at Omega Wealth Private Capital. We help you get from the I have to's to, wow, I get to.
I'm Brad Johansson.
And I'm Joe Wilson, and welcome to another edition of Wise Money.
Welcome to Wise Money. I'm your host today, Mark Henry, and I'm joined with Joe Wilson, the CEO, founder of Omega Wealth Capital. And man, I'm so excited to be on the show. Again, I hate it. We've done a couple now, and I've loved it. It's been so fun. But I hate the reason I'm here. I want to make sure I give a shout out to your friend,
Brad Johansson,
our friend.
And thanks for Brad. He's getting better.
Heal up.
He's healing up.
Keep healing. He's doing great.
Injury. He's healing up.
He's doing great.
Better. But I'm glad because I get to hang out with my
Well, this has
friend.
been fun. I got to tell you, this has been fun when you asked me to do it. And it's been fun because I brought back, we talked a couple weeks ago about the three little pigs. I brought it back with me. I wanted to return it. I took it. I didn't mean to. So I'll give you that back. But the reality is we've had some great conversations about this idea of the modern retiree and all the stuff it's changed.
It's changed.
But we don't do scripted shows here and stuff. But one of the things that before we jump in, you've got some recipes for retirement or something. I don't know what you mentioned something we were going to talk about on the text message. I didn't read it, so I'm just being honest there. But Joe, I think this came across me the other day. But I think the reason you're having the success you're having, in my opinion, Indianapolis, Ohio, and around the country, and it's very much like I'm seeing in Charlotte, in the Carolinas, is because we have changed, you have changed the idea of how you run your practice to become an advice-driven firm.
Absolutely.
Is that correct?
There's no other way around it.
Explain to the audience what that actually means to you. I know what it means to me. I want to hear from your words what it means.
When you look at the modern retiree, that's what I like to say. And why do I say modern? Well, because the world is different today than it was. It's a different retirement than when your parents retired. It's a different retirement probably from your aunts and uncle. My uncle retired a GE aircraft engine and got mailbox money, a pension every few weeks, and just passed away about a year ago. It's very different today because pensions are such a small part, and a lot of folks are trying to live off of what you've been saving 20, 30, 40, some 50 years of work. To do what? To go into their, as you say, dream job, retirement. But when you look at the landscape, I love that the market is doing what the market does. But the problem is we're seeing volatility on the way up, but then those down years are just as volatile.
Painful.
And it is such a different experience when you're going into retirement because you're no longer in what we call the accumulation years. You are in the distribution years. You're taking money out. So volatility in the market can really wreak havoc if you don't have things set up properly. Why are we an advice-driven firm?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Because I think so many firms focus, and rightfully so, on grow, 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 grow. Now listen, we love market money, and you need growth money, and we are passionate about that. But the problem is we see so many folks managing all their money the exact same way. And the fact is that is a recipe for disaster. If something goes wrong. And I guess the reason I'm so passionate about this is I started in this industry in 2006. It was a great time to start. But it was also one of the worst times because what quickly followed was the demise of the second half of 2007, 2008, and 2009.
Financial crisis.
Which was just unbelievable what happened during that time frame. I saw so many folks as I was mentoring and learning in that role that were coming into a big wirehouse firm downtown and just struggling greatly, having to go back to work. And it really forced me to look at wow, what are we really doing? You need growth money. You need emergency money, but you need money too that gives you a place to get income that lasts to and through retirement. And there's not advice around all of it. So many folks are just focusing on one or two things. One of the reasons I wrote this book that we're going to talk about. I equate it to this. I'm an analogy guy. I like analogies.
Yep.
And the reason I'm bringing this up on this show is we see so many folks just like yourself that call in and they have what I call the easy button retirement. Well, I'm in 60-40. I'm in 70-30. And what's amazing is they feel that that's a plan, and it's not a plan. I know you're going to talk about this. So I want to talk today because I know you like to eat good food.
I do. Love
Before we
it.
get into that, what's your favorite recipe?
Well, as a carnivore, I like a good, well-cooked steak. When I say not cooked well, but I mean medium, a little less. I want a lot
Do
of
you
butter,
cook it?
seasoning.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do it on the grill, or do you put it in the pan and roast it?
I'm more of a pan. I can use the grill, but not before it's pan seared.
Got it. That's a recipe. Here's what's amazing to me. So many modern retirees are coming in with a recipe. Well, this has worked. This is what I like. But the challenge is, as things change, they really need a cookbook. And that's what this is. We wrote this. It's called The 5 Agreements to Be and Stay Retirement Ready. Investments are one of those, but you must have 5 areas of your retirement. We talk about it. You better have a place to get money when the market's down, an income engine.
Yes, you better.
You better understand where your investments are and where to take the volatility and the risk in the market, because you need growth money. You better have a clear understanding of taxes and the tax debt. Are you managing it appropriately, or is all of your money being managed in a way where you're leaving a gigantic tax time bomb on the table? What about asset preservation? We're living longer, Mark. We're seeing folks in their 90s and 95s. I talked about this not too long ago. A few weeks ago, we had a precious person in our church, 102, passed away. And when we do pass, how do we pass those dollars on to the next generation? That's a cookbook. Too many modern retirees are focused on one recipe, and they're costing themselves money.
And I don't know how you say that better. The reality is, when I think about this big picture, we're going to go ahead and open up the phone lines because, Joe, if I heard you correctly, you're going to give away this book today. You're going to give it to them without any kind of an obligation, and you said you will pay shipping and handling. Am I correct?
Absolutely free. And folks, you get one shot at retirement. I know we're passionate about this. We've given over 1,000, almost 1,300 of these things away since we started doing this, just off of this television show. That's not including what we pass out in our office. Why? Why do I do that? Because I took the lessons from 2008. And I took the lessons of folks that as I listened and learned and said, wow, our industry needs to do better. I love our industry. I'm passionate about it.
Love it.
I absolutely eat this stuff up. I eat, drink, and sleep. We text at 5 a.m. sometimes because I'm just fanatical about it.
Yep, you're the only one I know that's up.
Thank you.
Besides me.
I got the curse of my father. But there's some secrets in here that I think everyone needs to know. Okay. Because what we're seeing is it's affecting and helping them have the retirement of their dreams and also pass on that legacy, because there's 5 areas. If you don't have them, you miss one. It's going to cost you a lot.
Let's open the phone lines right now. 844-657-1072. Again, the number to call is 844-657-1072. Operators are standing by. Joe has made this unlimited, so if your friends want to call, tell them to call now. 844-657-1072. I know you're going to pick up the phone. And also, if you want to save the phone call and not have to speak to an operator, there's a QR code on your screen. Just snap it, load in your information, and the team at Omega Wealth will send you this book absolutely complimentary.
How about that?
No
QR
obligation
codes.
in-card.
We're
QR
fancy.
codes.
We're fancy.
The world's changed. It's fancy. Hey, stay tuned, because on Wise Money, we're going to talk more about recipes for retirement. Stay tuned.
How are you invested in the market? Is that traditional 60-40 plan still the way to go? We'll have the answer from Wise Money next.
My grandfather was an old Texan cowboy oil man. I remember him telling me, you can only worry about the things you can control. Never worry about the things you can't control. The election's going to happen every 4 years. Every 2 years, we're going to vote different folks in on the Hill. We call it legislative risk. It's the beautiful structure of our government. We vote folks in and out, and every 2 years, the power on the Hill shifts. So change is constant. It's the certainty of uncertainty. You have to recognize that, because we're planning it over 30 years. So how do we as advisors take that uncertainty and create a plan? And the fact is, we have to control what we can control. You can't control how much risk you're taking. Do you have hidden risk inside the portfolio? What about the tax debt? What kind of income plan do you have structured that's going to go along with Social Security, or what if Social Security isn't there in the form that it is currently? If we can control those measures, it doesn't really matter who's in the White House or who's on the Hill. Because now when it comes to the financial planning of your life, We've taken that variable out because we have something that is certain, because it is a very uncertain world. Control what you can control. The worst day in retirement isn't the day you run out of money. It's when you realize you're going to run out of money and there's nothing you can do about it. It's why in my new book, The 5 Agreements to Be and Stay Retirement Ready, we talk about asset and capital preservation. So many things can derail a modern retiree's retirement by surprises. A huge dip in the market. What about a healthcare concern? There are costs right now of $110,000 to $130,000 a year for long-term care. What strategies have you taken right now to hedge your retirement against that risk? There are so many ways to do it. Want to learn more? You need a copy of my brand new book, The 5 Agreements to Be and Stay Retirement Ready. Click the link below, fill out some information, and my team will send out a copy to you absolutely free. Looking forward to you reading it and maybe seeing you in the office so we can help you be and stay retirement ready.
Welcome back to Wise Money. I'm your host today, Mark Henry, joined with Joe Wilson, the CEO and founder of Omega Wealth. And
Thanks for being here,
listen,
friend.
I'm so excited to be on this show, but I love this idea of when you're using this analogy of recipes and the thought that a typical 60-40 recipe for a portfolio could, should, and even would fit everyone's appetite. It's just ludicrous.
It's bad
just
advice.
crazy.
It really is,
It's actually bad advice.
I don't mind having pieces of that portfolio in someone's account. I understand that. But the challenge is we're seeing folks come off the show and everything they own is in that. And I want you to understand the gamble that can happen.
Well, what is a 60-40 portfolio?
Well,
Tell
60%
the audience.
stocks like the S&P
Right,
500
equities.
and 40% in what we call the bond aggregate, the average bond market. So 60% stock, 40% bond. It's kind of the...
How did that work out in 22? I'm just curious.
Well, to answer your question, it wasn't good. I mean, about 17.5% decline in 2022. Now listen to that.
I want to hear that.
17.5% down.
Huge.
And that's a bad year.
That's a bad year.
But if you go back 10 years before that, 2012 to 2020, and we hear this all the time, it averaged about 6.1% that decade.
Okay.
But here's the challenge. What are we not counting into that? So many folks are saving in these retirement 401ks, 403bs.
Yeah.
Yes, it's grown, but remember, if you're no longer working, you're taking money out. And we talk about this every show. The 50-year average of inflation is 3.8%. So follow me. If you're getting 6.1 for 10 years, but inflation is eating away at those dollars at 3.8, your gain is only a couple percent. That means in the down years, you will clearly get smoked running out of money if you have a 30 to 35 year retirement.
That's exactly where I was trying to go with this.
Folks are not paying attention to this.
This is the way everyone's always retired. It's the way everybody does it. Every big box firms. You're 60, you're 62, you're going to retirement. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a 60-40 portfolio. It's the stamp of approval. But yet, significant people are on record. I read an article recently in the Journal that the 60-40 portfolio does not work
Because
anymore.
when you look at volatility and you look at what could happen and what many modern retirees are not wanting to do, who wants to take a pay cut?
Right.
I sure don't want to.
No.
But imagine if you had that scenario in 2022, you were taking a 17.5, nay, even more, because you had to take out more money because of inflation. Remember, that's what we had,
never
9+
get back to
percent.
even.
So you're wiping out 20% of your portfolio like this because you had the market decline, you're taking money out, inflation's going up. We're not even talking about taxes on those dollars. The way you manage money in the accumulation years must be, hear me, must be managed differently than the distribution. We need growth money. I would prefer that it is in a tax-favored account to where it grows and Uncle Sam says, can't touch it. Keep your hands off it, Uncle Sam. I already paid my tax on that.
Right.
But the rest of your dollars need to have growth as well. But it needs to be in a way that allows you, when the 2022s happen, when the 2007s,
And they're going to happen again.
2000, 2001, 2002, 1973,
Correct.
1974. Don't even get me started. I'm a market guy. When you look at the volatility that can happen, and if you're retired taking money out, then paying taxes, trying to keep up with inflation, it can wreak havoc 15, 20 years down the road.
Joe, when I think of that 60-40 portfolio, what we saw in 22, again, bad year, but the equity portion, that was where their growth was going to come from. Correct me if I say anything wrong.
No,
here.
they got crushed.
Okay, so that's fine. But hold on. We have this 60% that in a good market gives us our equity. We have this 40% that prepares us for what most likely will come, a bad market.
Yeah, be the cushion.
But what we really saw in what is going to happen again and again to people that have that kind of portfolio is in a good year, the 60% did its job and did its job well. Okay. What did the 40% do in a good year? Well, it made a little money, but did it make a lot? No, it's not supposed to make a lot, Mark. That's not the job of that 40%. Okay. So it doesn't make near as much in a good year.
Correct.
Now we go to the bad year.
Yeah.
The 60% lost. Mark, it's supposed to. That was my big growth, but it made a ton, now it lost some. But the 40 never made much, and what did it do in 22?
It got smoked.
It lost money like crazy, so you never make as much in a good market with that 40%, and you still lose in a bad market. Why do we have it like that?
Well, it's because it's the easy button on growing
Thank you.
money. And
That's what
because
we're here.
every
It's
2
the
weeks you're
easy
putting
button.
money in. The challenge is it's different when you're taking it out. You better have a place to get money in retirement because you're retired.
Without
your whole
market
goal,
loss.
without taking an L.
An L.
That is a problem. And if you don't realize that, if you take that earlier in your years, those dollars are gone. And
It's called
inflation's
sequence of
eating it.
returns.
Thank you.
And you talk to people about it every day.
Well, we get preachy on it.
You do.
And that's because every dollar needs a job. You need growth bucket. You need emergency fund bucket. And you need a place to go to get money because there will be bad years. And if you can model this out and realize I've got a place to go and get my capital that is not subject to a market loss, it allows you not to touch the riskier money and allows that time to grow back out. That model is unbelievable when you
Well,
look at
I love
30
how
years.
you can explain this to people, and it's why your success is so big. Because you and your team can explain this to people, and it actually says this in your brochure. I actually read this, Joe.
Well, thank you.
And you talked about how you're going to translate after years of working in the big companies, how you can translate it and get rid of this word jargon.
This industry loves to use fancy terms and
Jargon.
We do our best to keep that out because
Right.
it's like a buzzer. Bzz, it's a jargon
But
word.
explain it where somebody can understand it. And I would say this, we've got to go to break right now. But the easiest way that I know for someone watching right now to get started on a much more confident financial future is to reach on that coffee table, pick up your cell phone. It's right there beside you. Dial 844-657-1072. It's not a toll-free helpline. Here's what Joe has decided to do. He will graciously give out an unlimited number of copies to every single person that calls today of his brand new book, The 5 Agreements. It's going to help you get started on a much more confident financial future. He will pay the shipping, the handling, the postage. He will get it delivered to your door. And all you have to do is pick up the phone and dial 844-657-1072. This is not a hard read, but it's going to talk about what you're going to need to look at so you can get started on a confident financial future. There's also a QR code on your screen. You can take your smart camera, and that will allow you to enter your address information and let him send you this book absolutely free. 844-657-1072. Hey, stay tuned. We've got so much more coming up on Wise Money with Joe Wilson.
There's a place for all of your money. Some of it in the foundation, some in the walls, some in the roof. Let Omega Wealth help you build a solid fiscal house. We'll tell you how next.
There are two phases in retirement. There's the accumulation phase and the distribution phase. For many of you, you've been accumulating and saving, and you've been investing in the market. Well, you have to manage your money a little bit differently when you retire because you can't stomach all the down years and high years. But what you need to make sure is that your investments are structured in a way that can beat and maintain the growth rate of inflation, because that's how you're able to take the trips, to have the lifestyle that you want in retirement. Nothing beats time in the market. The challenge is, how do you live off that through the good and bad years? We break down how you can manage your investments in my new book, The 5 Agreements to Be and Stay Retirement Ready. Want a copy? Click the link below, fill out some information, and I will send you a copy absolutely free. You get one shot at retirement. Get the 5 Agreements so you can be and stay retirement ready. What is the number one fear around those entering retirement and just having retired? What is it?
The number one fear is that you're going to run out of money before you die.
We have a window right now where there's some amazing tools where we can disinherit the IRS from that pot of money. So many times you've been saving and doing things, and that might be the right tool for that season. So when's the best time to prepare for rain? When it's sunny out.
When it's sunny.
You don't wait till it's storming. 2001, 2002, 2020. We can go back through here the last couple of decades. There's going to be bad times in the market. Well, where do you go to get your income? Your retirement cannot sustain that. The only way those work out is if you retire and there are several good years right after you walk out of the office. You have to control what you can control, and you cannot control what happens in the markets. You get one shot at retirement, and if you're missing one of these agreements, that can crush you. You cannot go into distribution years with the same tools and hope that's not a plan.
Welcome back to Wise Money. I'm your host today, Mark Henry. I'm joined with Joe Wilson, Omega Wealth, and CEO, founder, all the numbers you got behind your letters behind your name. But Joe, we were talking about on the break and about this planning idea, recipes for retirement, the 5 agreements. This book's amazing. It's fabulous.
Thank you.
And we're going to open the phone lines again in a few minutes so you can have your opportunity to get it. And I'm going to make you do something really special with this next offer, and you didn't agree to it. But one of the things, it's going to be special, and you're not going to like it, but you're going to do it.
I trust you.
I know, you should. And so here's the deal, though. I've decided, Joe, that I can create a perfect retirement plan.
Well, I want to hear this because you've done this a long time. You're really good, but I'm curious.
Now, listen to the word, perfect. Because most plans that we create for people have a 90% likelihood of success, 85%, 97%, because there's some variables. The Bible is very clear. You can't build your walls high enough. But I've decided to change that statement, and I know now how to build
You're making me really nervous right now, just so you know.
I can build
Well, I want to know how. If you know how to do that, tell me. I've been in this industry a long time. I want to know
When you come in to see me, I'm going to need you to bring all your stuff.
Yeah.
And I need you to bring a date.
Okay, retirement date?
Nope. The day you're going to pass away.
Oh, goodness, stop it.
And guess what? I'll build you a perfect plan.
Well, yeah. That's obvious. See, this guy, he's a piece of work, isn't he?
Right? But think about that, because it could be so simple if we just knew.
And that's the fear. It's the number one fear.
Now, we could talk about inflation and taxation. We could have some changes we have to put it. But I could build pretty darn good. Maybe it's not absolutely perfect. I want to take that back. Maybe not perfect. It's going to be so close.
Yeah.
But we have this unknown in everyone's plan.
It's longevity risk.
And it's giving us this fear. And I just don't believe God had me work all the years I've worked and save and try to do the right thing to live in fear when I get to my best job I'll ever have, retirement. I'm not supposed to live in fear. But Joe, you see people doing that every day, Joe.
Well, we do off the show. And why do we know that? Because it is the number one fear of the modern retiree. And modern retiree meaning because we're living longer. It's running out of money. And when you look at longevity, and I'm going to challenge you this. I think you should start saying this in Charlotte with your firms there. I would say wealth planning really is longevity planning. People forget that. People forget that. If we're living into our 90s,
right,
that's a long time to be taking money out. You need a better understanding of what happens to your money after taxes, inflation, and God forbid, market volatility. I think there's going to be more good years than bad years. I believe in that. I believe in the free market economy. I love the country that we're in. We are blessed beyond measure.
I'm a proud capitalist.
Yes, sir, without a doubt. Me too. When you look at the challenges that so many modern retirees are facing today, when it is more expensive to go to the grocery store, it is more expensive to put gas in your car, and we see so many folks come off this television show, and if they even have a plan, it's using a 2% inflation rate. That's almost half
not even the right
what
tools.
the 50-year average. You need the right tools.
Joe, I'm going to interrupt you. I'm going to stop you.
Do it.
I want to challenge you, because when I think about this plan that we're talking about, this hit me. Joe, I want you to plan it for me. I want you to use the book. I want you to use this idea that I'm a modern retiree, but I want something crazy. I want to know how I can spend more money at 65 to 75, call that the go-go years, knowing that between 75 and 85, I probably won't spend as much because it's the
You got the slow go.
And then at 85 to 95, that's the no-go.
Which I think people get wrong because in 85 to
You
95
could
is just
spend
where
more.
you spend more.
You may because of it. But I want a plan that gives me the freedom to go spend my hard-earned dollars at 66, at 67,
Why
at
wouldn't you?
68. Because
Why
I
wouldn't
want freedom. I want to go. It's when I can do something. Can you build a plan like that?
We do, and we do it every day. And here's why: we get to see a lot of good days, but there's some dark days in our business. And I know what you're going to recognize. I know the show's closing, but one of the worst things we can see in days in our business is when someone that's in their late 80s that has a lot of wealth, and they come in, maybe even off this show, and they come in and go, "Look what we have," and I congratulate them on it, and tears well up in their eyes and go, "I'd give it all back if I could go on one more trip, if I could do one more thing." Many times I ask that person, why didn't you do that?
Fear.
We were afraid of running out of money. It can be fixed with a plan that's using real numbers for inflation.
That's what they need,
that's
Joe.
using after-tax dollars. And folks, you can get that today. Our team of fiduciary advisors, we do this. We're passionate about it. All you have to do is dial 844-657-1072. Take out your phone, take a picture of that QR code. One of our team members will reach out to you and schedule your own retirement readiness plan.
Joe, I'm turning it right back to you, but I promised I would do something special for the listeners.
Okay.
Every book that calls in, everybody that calls in for their book offer right now, you're going to sign it for them.
I promise you I will do that.
Every one of them.
Do that.
You're going to get a signed copy from Joe.
That I was afraid of seeing you doing something else. I never know what you're going to do. That's why you're my wild and crazy friend. I want to thank you for watching this show. You do get one shot at retirement. You need all 5 agreements. You need an income engine. You need to have an investment idea of where your hidden risks are in these markets, in these times. What about a tax plan? Where can you take your money? Asset preservation, legacy plan. You deserve the retirement of your dreams. Thanks for watching Wise Money. Can't wait to see you next week.
From tax time bombs to Social Security insecurities, strategic investments that help clean up your junk drawer and keep your income engine running smoothly at Omega Wealth Private Capital. We're fiduciary, independent, holistic wealth advisors, and we're here to turn your have-tos into get-tos. So, would you like your retirement dreams to move from good to great? Give us a call. It's what we do because we really want to. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope to see you in the office. Until then, I'm Brad Johansson. We'll see you next time on Wise Money.